It's July 4th, 1776. Imagine the heat radiating off the cobblestone streets of Philadelphia as a crowd gathers in Independence Hall. They're about to hear something that will echo through centuries, a declaration that's less about peaceful unity and more about fiery rebellion. But what does liberty really mean? As conflict brews and nations form, the fight for freedom isn't neat or simple. It's messy, contested, and constantly changing. How did America wrestle with this idea to become itself? That's where Eric Foner's Give Me Liberty invites us. Let's rewind to those fast-moving days around 1776. Liberty starts as a rallying cry, but what cracks appear right beneath the surface? On that sweltering July day, the delegates at Independence Hall, from John Adams to Thomas Jefferson, crafted words that ignited rebellion. Yet behind the roar of liberty, enslaved people like Olaudah Equiano and women like Abigail Adams urged, "What about our freedom?" Philadelphia pulsed with tension. Not everyone saw liberty as universal, but this city gave birth to a fight that shaped a nation. Think of liberty like a fire in a hearth. Initially, it's a bright, unified blaze. Everybody gathers round with hope. But as the wood shifts and the air changes, flames flicker unevenly, casting shadows. Foner shows liberty morphing from pure idealism into competing claims: property owners, workers, women, enslaved people, all stoking or dousing the flame to their own agendas. The paradox of freedom is startling. Liberty was declared while millions were enslaved or disenfranchised. This fissure pulled the young nation apart and planted seeds of future struggles. The revolution transformed some lives but shut others out. The rallying cry attracted those hungry for power just as much as those craving justice. Fast forward as America expands, westward and inward. The fight for liberty now crosses mysterious borders and unsettled frontiers. Eric Foner's updated narrative pushes us beyond the East Coast, into the borderlands where diverse cultures clash. Picture the Great Plains, where native leaders like Tecumseh resist U.S. encroachment while settlers press for land and opportunity. These borderlands become a flashpoint, where ideas of liberty collide with colonial ambitions and indigenous rights. Indigenous nations weren't merely passive victims but active agents. They forged alliances, made compromises, or fought fiercely to protect their sovereignty. Their diplomacy resembled a complex chess game, balancing between European powers and the creeping U.S. government, trying to keep their homelands alive in the face of relentless pressure. As the border moved, freedom had to be reinvented. Was liberty only for white settlers who claimed land, or could it somehow accommodate diverse peoples and cultures? The frontier forced America to wrestle with inclusion and exclusion, revealing that liberty was as much about who was left out as who was embraced. Beyond Events and Battles, Give Me Liberty is a tool, powerful, interactive, designed for how you really learn history now. Eric Foner writes as if he's right next to you in class. His guiding voice untangles the messiness of American history, from revolution to reconstruction, with sharp clarity yet real humanity. This isn't dry dates and names, it's a living, breathing story with a single author steering the whole ship, so you never get lost in conflicting voices. The 5th edition shines with new interactive history skills tutorials. These break down how to analyze documents, interpret maps, or think about cause and effect. Imagine learning history like a detective piecing clues together rather than memorizing a timeline, a method that sticks with you long after you put the book down. Throw in Norton Inquisitive, the book's adaptive quizzing tool, and you get real-time feedback pushing you on your weakest points. It's like having a personal coach guiding you through history's twists and turns, so you build not just knowledge but confident understanding. This is history for the curious and exacting learner. Remember that crackling Philadelphia crowd, hungry for liberty but wrestling with what it meant, and for whom? Foner's Give Me Liberty shows us liberty isn't a fixed prize but a fight that keeps shaping America. Next time you hear freedom, ask who's casting the flame and who's left in the shadows. Try this. Think about your own freedom story. How has your background shaped it? That curiosity is where history becomes personal, alive, and urgent. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.